Hey everyone, I'm finally returning to talk about Villainous. It only took a year plus like my entire summer to get this video out. I'm nothing if not thorough, so I think we should go over everything I missed. But make sure to check out part 1 if you are new to Villainous lore. I actually tried making this video all the way back in August of 2018, but I guess things didn't quite work out. And here we are a year later, with the actual pilot being released. But that is not what today's video will be focusing on. This video will go over everything needed to get the code to get into Black Hat's organization's website, and all the new logs on the Podemos Bailar website that went along with the orientation videos. So let's pick up where we last left off, which seems to be with the Demencia short all the way back in March of last year. And the only thing to note was that she stole the glove, which people were speculating to be a big deal. It's very much like Villainous to tease something like this, and then just have it be a gag. So the next short to discuss is the Ben 10 reboot. This appears to be the first short that was completely solved, so good job Villainous fans for actually making sense of all the clues given. On the day the video was released, the Podemos Bailar website updated. At first it looks like nothing, but waiting a bit will cause a diamond with a key inside to pop up. When clicked on, the page totally changes, and you are bombarded with a lot of new stuff. On the left, there is a binary code. When translated, it says, opening secure channel, decoding message security network 765699. Accessing any remaining agent. 2 can still dance. Fans took this to mean that there are still 2 agents alive and trying to stop Black Hat. In the center of the screen, there are buttons you can press on. Of course, these need to be done in a certain order, and once again that means going frame by frame to find the order you need to push the buttons in. I will now demonstrate the correct combination to get into the terminal. Ta-da! There we go. Or you can just use this link. Whatever works, you know? So this is a new version of the old website, and it no longer has the README file. So like before, there are some entries, only now there are a ton more because I neglected to make this video for over a year. But let's start off with the first new piece of information, which is entry number 3, which translates to box. This is what we were supposed to get with the Boxmore episode featuring OKKO, but it seemed that this was taken down. And once you click on that entry, a ton of stuff pops up. It turns out this is a file on the villain Metauro. I will note that these were not fully translated word for word, but I will do my best and mention what was said in the summary of the translation. The first document is the teacher registration form for the University of Malaga, which is in Spain. Dimas Rendon Soler, which is Metauro's real name, specialized in advanced biotechnology, molecular biology, methodology in zoology, animal psychology, and edaphology. Sorry, I might have said some of those wrong, but that is the study of the influence of soils on living things. He was born in 1980 and is 36 years old. So if it wasn't obvious already, he is really, really smart. His emergency contact is his wife. And speaking of her, that brings me to the next picture where we get more information on his wife Maria and their 4 children. But this paper is shown because it is a missing persons report. Metauro's family has disappeared, and at the time the report was written, they had been gone for 2 weeks. In this teeny tiny news snippet, we learn that he was a guy that lived in Spain and was pro-animal rights. He did any type of bullfights or bull runs. So, of course, he had the smart idea to stand in front of 100 bulls as they were running in an event called the Pamplonada. He was unsurprisingly really injured, as seen from the various hospital reports on here. He managed to survive, but because he was a mad scientist, he experimented on his own body with bull DNA and other chemicals to make him stronger and faster. Bell's experimenting, of course, had effects on his personal life, as he got divorced and the police began chasing him from using all those chemicals on his body. So he became desperate and needed help. Of course, the only solution for this type of situation is to ask for help from Black Hat organization, where he pleads for a substance that can make him stronger than he already was, no matter the cost. Black Hat organization replies and says they agree to help him. Once a deal is made, Flug modifies Metauro, making him the character we know today with his bulletproof suit. And with these newfound powers, he causes a lot of problems, as shown in these newspaper clippings. Metauro kills a hero by himself, interrupts a bullfight where he steals the bull and harms the fighter, and worst of all, during a Pamplonada, he leads the bulls to harm 457 people and actually killed 33 of them. This was considered a terrorist attack. I would have thought Black Hat Org would be happy with this, but I guess not because Flug sends him a letter saying that they have Metauro's family and he needs to visit them in the next day or his family will be killed. As seen in the Boxmore video, Metauro agrees to this. Perhaps it was because Metauro was doing too many things without telling Black Hat, or he was going too far for Black Hat's liking. But Metauro still remains missing to this day. So while the Ben 10 video did not have any new information relating to the Black Hat website, it did give us access to this updated terminal and add on to the OKKO episode. Now, taking a break from the orientation videos, at an animation festival in Mexico called Pixelatl, the creator of Villainous had a panel where he showed off some new stuff, plus did a Q&A. They also gave out Villainous masks, which had a QR code behind them. If you scanned them, they took you to the Podemos Bailar website, where it had new images. If you try it now, it takes you to the pilot episode on YouTube, but thankfully these images were saved. There's this one with a strange looking black hat shrine, and reports for Flug, Demencia, and 5L5. For 5L5's, it says that he was originally developed as a beast for Black Hat, but Flug was unsuccessful. However, Flug considers him to be the perfect organism. He has night vision and has strangely colored bones. Demencia's papers document her as El Alibrije, which are Mexican folk art sculptures of colorful and fantastical creatures. If you've seen Coco, you probably know what I'm talking about. Considering her very colorful hair, I understand the choice of the name. It seems she was known for attacking people, and this time kidnapped a person being protected by the hero Lumiere. However, as shown from the blurry photograph, people questioned any sightings of her and said she may not even exist. Of course we know she does, but for a while she seemed to be a very mysterious villain. Finally, we have Flug. This classified document gives us a lot more insight into just how evil he actually is. He has committed 82,602 crimes, which makes it unsurprising his private and commercial licenses were revoked. He is very dangerous and has been accused of falsification and identity theft, violating articles, stealing planes, not following the aeronautical code, producing fissionable materials, destroying a plane in service, transporting explosive materials, and stealing classified documents. But back to the orientation videos, a little while later the website was updated to include the Ben 10 entry, number 7. Not making it number 10 is a real missed opportunity in my opinion. The name for this entry is actually the species name for Vilgax from Ben 10. I actually did not know this, so if this was information from the original series, I am ashamed of myself. But shame aside, I'm really happy we finally have some more stuff in English. As you can see, this is about a famous scientist who worked in biogenetics, and he's going to be the CEO of his father's company. When I hear biogenetics, I think Metauro, but this could totally be important for something else. Some interesting things to note are the kanji on the poster, which translated says, the demon with the black hat. Well, that could be referring to practically anyone. Just kidding. Also, an eagle-eyed viewer noticed that the numbers on the books in the picture are the numbers used in the anime Soul Eater to call death. Apparently the creator of the show is a Soul Eater fan, so I'm sure this was intentional. I know nothing about this anime, but Black Hat and Death probably has some things in common. Next up is the Samurai Jack orientation video. There are once again a few reoccurring symbols. This time, as shown from this chart, it is 0, 5, and S. I'm not going to track all these down, but luckily this time Nightfur, who helped me out a ton with this video, put the timestamp for each of these. These will be important, I swear. Just hold on a bit longer. Now taking a break from the orientation videos, an anniversary video was released that celebrates Black Hat organization. We get an overview of the creation of the company and what they do. There are a few things of note, which of course are only there for a frame, so a lot of pausing is needed. During the transition, we can see two different messages back to back. Of course, he won't let you see, and the other one says he won't let you know. The numbers mean hat in ASCII. This leads to an entry on the website that was not accessible at the time. The next message is a really cryptic one. At first it is kind of impossible to make out because it's so dark, but when filters are added in, you can sort of read it. As we can tell, it says, "When you end, this all be free." It raises a lot of questions. Most importantly, who is the I? Now, on to the next video. We finally get a senior short. Took long enough if you ask me. This short is great because Demencia calls Jasper a Cheeto Puff, and there's this whole thing about Flood getting the number of diamonds wrong. And like many of the videos prior, we got a few reoccurring symbols. The ones to look for this time are 2 8s and 2 Ws. The website is also updated with a new entry, which is this picture. It is important to note that Black Hat organization is very successful, with them owning 3 galaxies at the moment, as well as the name of the passenger and destination of them on the plane ticket. The next orientation video is centered around regular show. There's a lot to cover, so let me just show the chart of important symbols first. 2 R's, 1 V, 1 0, and 1 3 were noted to be important. And as usual, the website updated. The entry title is Paletta, which means lollipop. That makes sense when talking about Pops from regular show, because he is called Papaletta. And this one is a real doozy. Each image has an audio file that goes with it. When you combine all the audio clips together, it is 14 minutes long. And on top of this, all the clips are in Spanish. The YouTube channel Panda y Conejo took the time to combine the translations with the audio and pictures. These audio files tell the story of Aldo Maldonado, who is invited to join Black Cat's cult and slowly but surely gets sucked into it until he becomes just as crazy as the rest. I'm going to pick the most important parts from each audio file, as well as speed it up a bit, because in total everything was about 14 minutes, as I mentioned before. And to warn you, this gets pretty dark and creepy, so be prepared. Additionally, the images were translated into English by Nightfur, and they made into the original form as pictures by Tumblr user Yukio Draws. So I will add those in to make reading easier for English folks.
Notas de voz de Aldo Maldonado. Mi amigo Eduardo me invitó a un evento que se va a hacer en quién sabe dónde. Dijo que me iba a decir en el punto de reunión. Estaba emocionado, pero como que con miedo también de que yo fuera a pensar algo mal. Seguramente es por mi rama de expertise. Pero no voy con intención de analizar. Notas de Aldo Maldonado. Hoy es sábado 28 de noviembre de 2015. Hace 3 días, miércoles 25 de noviembre, hubo una reunión hecha por un grupo nuevo. Eduardo Geller, de 22 años, asiste a esta secta en un edificio abandonado dentro de una zona pobre de la ciudad. Me pidieron que no revelara la ubicación, porque es confidencial, y solo se le revela a los miembros. Pero el lugar cuenta con una puerta metálica y un guardia que pregunta por una contraseña en un código lingüístico desconocido. El interior del lugar es completamente opuesto a la fachada. La indumentaria y decoraciones del interior son de una cultura europea y de la época victoriana del siglo XIX aproximadamente. En todos estos elementos resalta un sombrero de copa como símbolo y aparenta pertenecer a una clase alta. La gente ahí reunida corresponde a diferentes clases socioeconómicas y todos los integrantes tienen diferente rango de edad. Un hombre mayor entró a la sala y se posicionó frente a todos y dio su discurso en torno al amo, quien promete cumplir los deseos de sus seguidores. Mencionó algunas cosas personales de los presentes y dio por terminada la sesión. Luego se retiró. Por lo que pude observar, el maestro puede ser realmente el rededor elegido que dice este hombre, o puede ser alguien que no existe o es un ente mágico. No sé, pero no puedo descartar el hecho de que estas personas creen en un ser supremo. Y el método para reclutar gente es muy fuera de lo común. Notas de voz de Aldo Maldonado. Hoy, domingo 29 de noviembre de 2015, hubo otra reunión, en una zona más retirada a la primera. El hombre de la sesión pasada empezó a platicar de nuevo sobre los beneficios de seguir al gran maestro y que les va a conceder sus más grandes deseos a sus seguidores. Uno de los más jóvenes empezó a repartir sombreros fes a los integrantes. Y cada persona decidió si usarlo en el momento o conservarlo para después. Los que dirigen esta secta parecen ser gente de dinero, con intereses económicos con los involucrados. Pero no veo una línea de parentesco por sanguinidad entre los presentes. Y más bien la gente que viene aquí llega por afinidad a los miembros más antiguos. Los sombreros tienen un valor y le da estatus a la persona. Y creo que el darle estos sombreros a los presentes los están integrando a su secta. Y eso me incluye a mí. Pero yo no pienso usar este sombrero. Hay algo en él que no me da buen presentimiento. Lunes 30 de noviembre de 2015. El sombrero que otorgaron en la sesión pasada aparece en un lugar diferente de donde es dejado. Nunca se queda en un solo lugar y nadie lo mueve. Hay un aumento de gente con sombreros puestos y muchos edificios tienen pintados en las paredes el símbolo del sombrero. Restaurantes, bancos, teatros, oficinas, lugares públicos con el símbolo del sombrero en la indumentaria y hasta pintados con grafiti en las paredes. El transporte público también. Este grupo es otro nivel de misterio, es hasta terrorífico. Lo del sombrero que me dieron me tiene inquieto. Vivo solo, no me estoy volviendo loco. Sé dónde lo pongo y que desaparezca a otro lado no es normal. Voy a ir una vez más. Solo uno más. Voy a aclarar unas preguntas, terminar mi reporte y salir de esto de una vez. No entiendo cómo Eduardo soporta esto. No sé si le pasa, no sé si ya está acostumbrado, no sé, pero yo ya no quiero. 1 de diciembre, 3:23 de la mañana. No pude dormir por lo que pasó hoy. Pero cuando desperté salí de mi cuarto por un vaso de agua y vi claramente una figura oscura, muy alta y con el maldito sombrero puesto, parado en la esquina opuesta donde estaba. Y vino hacia mí, allí estaba. Sonó el teléfono, me distraje y de repente desapareció. ¿Se esfumó? Cuando contesté era Eduardo. Me dijo que fuera al lugar de la reunión. No puedo dejar de pensar en lo que vi. Sí, ok. Esta va a ser la última vez. Voy en este instante a terminar con esto. Se acabó. El amo mira este mundo desde una torre industrial, cuyos humos negros le anuncian en el cielo como pintura desgarrando un lienzo, manchando la claridad como garras. Una madre de criminales y monstruos que solamente le obedecen a él. Al amo. El amo. Gracias a su completo y absoluto poder, el amo me ha mostrado la entrada a la sabiduría material. El amo es el cuidador, el que nos observa para guiar nuestros deseos al éxtasis. El honor que me ha sido otorgado, la gran dicha que me ha sido asignada por el amo. Oh, la gran dicha del privilegio que me ha otorgado el amo. La ceremonia aguarda y yo seré el elegido para entregar mi existir a él, al amo. La ceremonia tomará lugar en breve y estoy listo, extasiado, esperando, impaciente a complacer al amo con mi entidad. La dicha, el éxtasis. El ritual de inicio. ¿Ya lo escuchan? El ritual ha comenzado y mi momento ha llegado. El amo presente ante mí al fin. Ya es momento. El amo me llama, puedo escucharlo, me está llamando. Debo acudir, debo complacer, debo llevar, abrazar, aceptar los tesoros, la magia que proviene del sombrero.
Now that was super creepy, and I cannot believe that this is basically official content for a children's cartoon. It seems like nobody can forever resist the allure of becoming part of Black Hack's organization. But now, after all this, we finally have arrived at the final orientation video based on a show. This was for Kids Next Door, and the entry name for this one was Cake. In the show, the delightful children from down the lane, one of the most frequent enemies seen in Kids Next Door, have a very special cake each year to celebrate their birthday. When clicked, the entry shows a dialogue between the two surviving agents trying to combat Black Hack organization. Here's the entire dialogue translated into English. To spice things up, I got Cherry and Max, two of the channel's new hosts, to do a voiceover for this section. I thought it'd be a bit more fun, so let's hear it.
Are you using the same page that was hacked by Black Hat's Flying Monkey number 1?
Cooper, is that you?
Who else?
Prove it.
Magician is a ridiculous nickname.
I need to keep my identity a secret, and you know it. And it's not ridiculous. It's quite intelligent.
Whatever you say.
I'm glad to know you're all right, after what happened.
I managed to escape just in time. Were you able to see what happened to Jar, Itzat, and Valen?
I've never seen it in my life, but I've heard rumors. A beast that is loyal to Black Hat enough to do his dirty work.
I swear that if it comes for me, I'll hang its head on my wall as revenge for what it did to my friends.
You'll have your moment, Cooper. For now, let's continue with the plan. We're very close. The page could have been compromised, but that's exactly the reason why it's the perfect place to continue. One does not enter a fire, much less if that fire has been caused for you.
I hope you're right.
However, the life cycle of this page is almost finished. I can almost find an access to Black Hat Org's terminal.
Great, because we are alone. I don't know if I can convince another agent to enter the terminal after what happened the 2 times I saw someone trying.
Left this message open for any remaining agents to see this and can help us. The digits of the password are scattered in the orientation videos that we managed to alter. I'm sure that when the last video is released, I'll have access to Black Hat's mainframe.
We'll have to move fast after that.
Get ready. I need you to meet up with me as soon as possible.
Tell me where.
I'll send you the address through a more reliable mean. See you.
And there we have it, explicit confirmation that the different numbers and letters found throughout the orientation videos are needed to form a password to access Black Hat's mainframe. Oh, and all things considered, the loyal beast Black Hat unleashes on other agents in Demencia. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. So we also have one final set of codes to find, and this is what the fandom found. 0, R, and 1, as well as binary saying no escape. So with everything combined, we do have enough to figure out the password. But there is one more video that was released before the pilot aired that is quite important. It was a Q&A video, and had the main characters react to fan questions. It's super funny, and I definitely recommend watching it if you can find a version with subtitles. At the very end of the video, we get an entirely new clip. We see a villain attempting to cover the sky in darkness. This may be a bit confusing if not for the new entry added onto the website after this video. We learn that a villain by the name of Penumbra was a woman that went by the name of Penelope Newman Braxton. She got fired from her job at Shibo Inc. for an unknown reason. Soon after, however, she not only causes an explosion at a convention in Eterno City, but also attempts to cover the sun. For all of this, she is fined $24 million. And if you go to the report portion of the website, you can find some more interesting information. There is confirmation about a lot of things, such as who Penumbra is, and how she got to be this way. It also turns out that 20% of the people from Eterno City got inflicted from the blast caused at the science convention. They obtained a condition called the Numbra disorder, which makes them subject to pale skin, hair loss, and extreme sensitivity to the sun. They are known as Umbras, and a proposition to take them out of Eterno is put on the table for their own safety. However, this makes them very unhappy, as should be expected when anyone is forced to move out of their home. We also have a log from the agent magician, where he talks about getting access to Black Hat Org's computer, but he warns that we need to be careful about accessing it too much or Black Hat will find out and take the website down. Okay, now with all that out of the way, we can finally get to the password for blackhatorg.com. This password is formed with every secret letter or number found in the orientation videos. Nightfer, who basically did all the translations for everything so far, asked me not to show you the password for the website. This makes sense after Magician's warning that if all of us go onto it, it may no longer be available. However, I did record the website so you can see what it looks like. It's basically just a website where you can hypothetically become a member of Black Hat organization and purchase stuff. So while this little video of me going through the whole website is playing, Nightfer wanted me to tell you all something. So as you probably know, Villainous is not yet airing in the United States, but I know a lot of fans are from here, like me. To fix this, we need to let Cartoon Network know we want the show. The best way to do so is by going to the suggestions section on Cartoon Network's website and requesting it. It only takes a minute and every message counts. I'll post a link to the page in the description, so if you want to see the show in English and airing in the United States, here's the best way to help. And after that came the pilot. Now I think that would need to be a separate video because this video is already way too long. There may be a couple things I missed, but I think I covered the main things that I hadn't got to since my last video. With all that being said, if you would like to get notified of when I make my next Villainous video, please subscribe to my channel. Or if you'd like to talk to other fans about the show and discuss any new information that releases, feel free to join the Cartoon Universe Discord. The code to join is CartoonUV. Thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video, have a villainous day.